Okay, we're back here again with another drawing video. Um, this video right here, has a topic of, inspiration from an artist that I really love very much and I grew up listening to. The artist of this inspiration is Sparkle Horse, aka Mark Linkus, if you know him. Uh, he was a fantastic songwriter, musician, um, poet, whatever you want to call him. He was just great. I grew up listening to him when I was a kid. Um, this would have been, I don't know, 98, 99. That's when my earliest memories of him. Um, and yeah, I've been listening to him ever since. Sadly, he passed away. Um, was it now, what, 11, 12 years ago? I don't know. I think he says he died in 2010. I remember, the news when he passed. It was just devastating. Um, a lot of artists that I've loved over the years have either passed away or soon to be. But his death really upset me because he killed himself and just felt like he had so much more to give, and it was just really sad how he went out. Well, he went out on his own terms, obviously, but it was just so out of nowhere. Um, Depression will do that to you, I guess. But yeah, he died pretty young. He was like in his 40s, if I remember. But he left behind a great legacy, in my opinion. Yeah, he was, if I could describe his music, I would say it's like lo-fi, country, alternative rock mixed with some punk and rock. I said rock. Electronic. In his later years, he went a little bit electronic, and I don't know. He just had this beautiful way of taking weird sounds that you normally wouldn't think are interesting or would go with a song, and he would just put all these weird sounds together, and he distorted his voice with different types of microphones. Like it sounded like he was singing out of a freaking tin can. Um, his guitar pedals were really fuzzy and the tones, whatever. And it was chaotic at times, and then it was also like slow and like just really beautiful, just interesting sounds that he would make with his music. And yeah, the dude was a genius. What do you want me to say? Uh, as a kid listening to him, I never understood the lyrics of what he was trying to say because you're young and all that. And even today, I still can't decipher what he's singing about or whatever. But it was just beautiful sounds that he'd make and things that he would write. But yeah, the whole reason I'm talking about this drawing here, because as big a fan as I was, I had no idea, since, like I say, he died in 2010. His last album would have been... Oh, what was his last album? It was like... I think he's the same year. Yeah, the same year, like, his album came out. And he worked with a lot of artists. He worked with Radiohead and PJ Harvey and Tom Waits and um, just so many artists that I also love. And the last album he made was with Danger Mouse, amazing producer. And yeah, so out of nowhere, last week I was just, because sometimes I'll check out, um, I just want to listen to watch music videos of bands I like, and I have all his music, so I listen to it all the time on my iTunes. But like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna just watch one of his music videos for fun's sake because I love doing that. And I go listen to his music video or one of his songs, and just having a good time listening. And I noticed there was a new song that popped out after that I had never heard before, and I was like, what the heck is this? And I clicked on it, and lo and behold, it was a new freaking song that I never even knew existed, and it blew my mind. And then it turns out there's a new album that came out last year, and these were recordings that he did a year prior, no, a year before he died. So it blew my mind. Like I literally started crying because like I got so emotional. I was like, I never thought I'd hear new music from this man, and I was like, what the heck? This is crazy. This is crazy. And that first track on that new album just blew me away, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like uncovering a little mystery um special thing that you never knew was there of something you loved for the first time. It's like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but you know what I mean. Like, it just blew my mind. And yeah, the song was called It'll Never Stop. And I tell you, I listened to that song for a few days nonstop. Just the first song. Mind you, there's a whole album of recordings, unreleased stuff that just came out last year. And I was so upset with myself that I didn't even know the new album came out last year. I was like, what the heck? But it happens because I listen to so much music that, sometimes I take breaks from different artists or bands because I'll just wear myself out for days listening to the same album over and over or whatever. So I do take breaks from different bands that I like or love, whatever. And I guess, it had been a while since I've listened to anything of his outside of my iTunes, whatever. So I would not have even checked to see. I mean, why would you check to see if nothing new is coming out when the man's not even alive anymore? I mean, unless they make like a box set or something, which I always look out for those things from artists. Like, the 20th anniversary or 40th anniversary stuff, whatever. Unreleased demos and stuff. Anyways, what was I going with this? I don't know where the point was, but what I'm trying to say is it just blew my mind. And I was upset with myself that it took me over a year to find out there was new material from this man. So, yeah, this song that I listened to, the first track, it inspired me to make this drawing. And in the song, like, trying to decipher his lyrics is wild, but whatever. But most of the music I listen to is like that. But it talks about uh, crows and being vaporized with the sun, and just but I don't know, it's hard to explain. But I started just thinking of things in my head, and I am immediately, it just made me want to draw. So what you're seeing here is a drawing from that song. And yeah, it's also, that's another thing. These drawings are supposed to be like fast speed paintings, whatever the hell. And here I am in this video, and I'm going insane with detail, as you can see right now. And I'm going too far with it now, and I don't know. Maybe this series will be that, just me going too far with things sometimes. But what I don't know. This is gonna be maybe a 3-part video on this one drawing. I don't know, cause this video right here is like what, almost an hour sped up, but in reality it took 5 hours to draw this portion of the video. And the whole purpose of these videos were to make speed drawings really fast. So I should have been done with this drawing by the end of this video, but apparently not. So whatever, I guess I'll just make 2 or 3 parts to this drawing, because I have another one that I'm working on right now, but of this drawing, another video. Anyways, yeah, I just, like I said before, I get too much into detail. So with this, I was thinking like I would draw a crow, but a I don't know, like a weird human or something with a crow mask on, like a metal crow mask. And yeah, that was just the plan in my head, and I went with it, and this is what it is. Like, I don't know if it's a bird person or if it's a human, I guess, but as you can see, I'm fleshing out the textures of the skin and all that from underneath the mask. And like I said, these drawings, like, I have no idea where I'm going with them. I'm just going as I make it up, and getting lost in the details, I guess, is something I love to do. So yeah, right here you can see I'm struggling to think of what to do with the head. So I jump back to the eyes, and I do that a lot. Like, and I'm switching the color here because I'm getting sick of the color. I said that before. If I start a color and I get sick of looking at it for a long time, I'll just change it to, get into it again, to keep me, interested in what I'm doing. Or else I'll lose interest fast. And you can see I'm extending the mask more. I recently started drawing like metal objects. I don't think I'm great at it by far. Like, I still have so much to learn about how to draw metal. But I guess there's no right way to do it. If there is, I don't know it. As you can see, I'm throwing out the layers, trying to get the whole shape right. But yeah, this is my attempt at a metal mask of sorts. As you can see, I'm like trying to figure out where to put the straps on the mask and how they would look. And then I end up compensating of what to do with it by adding in textures of the skin and shadows. It's like fake it till you make it kind of deal, But like, all this is happening in real time, so I have to like think fast on my feet. And if I can't come up with what I want to do with a certain section, I'll just jump to something else. And there you see me fleshing out the head more and giving it like bumpy textures, and like, we don't know if this is a human or not, or what this character's been through. It could be decaying, or maybe it was born this way. I don't know. I mean, if it was born that way, I'd feel pretty bad for it. So yeah, it's got a rough start. But I figure if I just, layer things with shadows, I could hide my shortcomings. That's just my technique and everything. If I don't know what I'm doing, I just hide it with shadow. I think that's a perfect tool, and every artist should have at their disposal. You know, if you don't know what you're doing with something, just put a shadow over it, and that'll solve all the problems, I think. Like I said, I'm not someone who goes for technical whatever. I don't know. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm just getting lost in detail again. Detail you probably won't even see when the final product is done. Um, but in my brain, I guess it's important. I just can't help myself. It's like I walk this fine line of trying to draw realistic images, but at the same time cartoonish, comic bookish. I don't know what you would call the term. And the more detail in my head that I think should go there, you know, fits both sides. I try my best to do that. There's no rules to what I'm drawing right there with those details. I'm just playing with the colors and going with it, throwing in highlights and shadows and crevices and creeks and whatever you want to call that. Maybe they're veins, maybe they're shadows, maybe they're bumps. I don't know. I'm just adding texture the best of my ability. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm doing. And like I said, like there's no game plan, so I'm thinking on the fly what to do next while I'm doing that. It's like a it's like a magician, you know, a magician he's showing you his one hand, but on the other hand he's doing something completely different. And maybe that's a bad analogy, but it's like as I'm doing this quote unquote meaningless texture for the head, on my other side of my brain I'm thinking, where am I gonna go next with the mask? What am I gonna do next with the eyes? What am I gonna add this or that? Like I'm trying to think 5 steps ahead as I'm doing all this, I don't know what you want to call this, grunt work. And obviously you don't need to do any of this, but I'm doing it for several reasons to, you know, think of what to do next and because I can't help myself. So anyways, it's kind of hard to make this sound exciting. Maybe if I just shut up, it'd be easier for you to enjoy it. I mean, probably, who knows? Maybe you're not even listening to me. Maybe you have this on mute. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm just trying to make this portion of the drawing sound exciting. And yeah, like right there, I was trying to make like a giant hole in his head, but then I was like, that doesn't look right. Maybe I should start over on that. But then I was like, wait, maybe I could, you know, flesh it out more and draw a crater in his head. So there you go. I shaved off some of his head. Like I said, this guy's got a rough head. Guy, girl, whatever it is, I don't know. And then just me adding more highlights and stuff. And there's another thing too. Like I'm just trying to decide: is this thing biological? Is it mechanical? Is it both? Um, why does it have all these weird holes in its head and stuff? And I don't know. When you when you think like me, you just go with the flow, and whatever comes out comes out. But is there logic behind any of this? Could this actually exist in somewhere in the world? I don't know. Someone could live with the holes in their head like this. Looks like the craters on the moon. I don't know. Just trying to go for something. And look, these lines are terrible. Like these lines are not perfect, but if you if you work at something long enough and give it enough color and texture and shadows and depth, it looks like it belongs. Like I said, you fake it till you make it, and that's what I'm doing here. Um, yeah, this is really not interesting, I guess. Just sitting here looking at this part of the drawing, but maybe I should have sped it up faster. I don't know. This is pretty fast, all things considered, but I felt like I had to show off all this because I put a lot of time into it, and if I just sped over it, I don't know. I just feel like it's important, and maybe other people will draw like this as well. Like, look at that. I don't know where I'm going with any of this. I'm just lapping colors over colors, trying to see what works. It looks like I don't know what it looks like, to be honest. As you can see, I zoom out a lot to like get a full view of what I'm doing, because sometimes if you zoom in too much on something or you focus too much on something, you get tunnel vision on what the big picture is, and you lose sight of what you're trying to do. So you'll often see me zoom out and look at everything from a, you know, the outside perspective, like, hey, this is where I'm going with all this. Is it too much? Am I doing too much in this one spot? Is your eye going to be too focused on this one spot? That's another thing too that I love about the way I draw personally. I know how like there's always has to be the rule of the focal point of what you're drawing. Like, where's the focal point? They remember in school they used to always tell you that. Where's the focal point? Give us the focal point. And oftentimes, whenever I would show my work in school in art class, they'd be like, "Ah, there is no focal point. This is everywhere. What's going on here?" Because I was constantly drawing so many things on the paper, and it was just too much to look at. And sometimes it would throw off the teachers and whatever. But you know, who wants to look at one, like, if your eye gravitates, in my opinion, if your eye gravitates to one thing right away, then I don't think it's that interesting to look at in the first place. But if you're looking at something and you don't know, you start from here and someone else looked at the same drawing, they started from a different perspective because they saw something else that caught their eye first, that's more interesting to me. So that's why I tried to just not think about focal points, but at the same time, I try to be cautious enough to where I don't draw something so drastic on one spot that that's all you see. So it's like, I don't know. I thought I sounded intelligent when I was saying that, but whatever. And there you go, I'm drawing more shadows and just toning things down. And, I like it. I don't know, it's starting to look cool to me. It's so time consuming, this stuff, like, honestly. And it takes a lot of mental energy to just focus on these little details. Look at that, I zoomed out, and could you even tell all that stuff? Not really. But there I am, just going at it. Um, yeah, I guess a lot of this video is gonna be just me drawing flakes and bumps on this thing's head. That's just what it's gonna be. So I don't know if that's exciting, but I feel like it's part of the process. Um, yeah, even watching this now back is like, it's a chore to watch me draw all this again, even at a high speed. Just like, oh man, can we get past this part? But then I don't know. As you can see right there, I'm like trying to do highlights, like if those things are protruding out of his head, on different spots. But I don't know if I pulled it off. Or just, who knows? Maybe there's better ways to do all that. You see what I'm saying? How I'm just throwing out little flares of light parts, like it's being stretched out by light, but is it really? I don't know. And then I lose confidence in what I'm doing, so I jump to something else, and I go to the bottom part. Yeah, I don't know. Just it's starting to look like a California raisin. That's what this is looking like now to me. Now that I'm looking at it from afar, it looks like a California raisin or something. If you remember those California raisin commercials back in the day. Something. It looks like something. Um, yeah, I'm just going all in, huh? And I'm just jumping all over the place because I don't know what to do next. But yeah, I'm so happy that I get to listen to new music from this artist, Sparkle Horse, Mark Linkus, whatever you want to call him. Um, and I was so happy that I had to draw something in spirit of it. And this is what's coming out, I guess. Maybe I'll make like a series of like drawings inspired by other artists that um I don't know, inspired me growing up, and we don't know, we'll see. Okay, I'm finally doing something else now. I'm jumping to the mask again, and just giving it more tone. Um, like I said, I'm still learning how to draw metal. I don't know how good I am at it, but I feel like I'm getting a little better. As you can see right there, I'm trying to like break up the mask to see what works. If not, I was like, do I break it up here at the beak? Do I do it at the mouth? And I decided, maybe I'll just leave it as is and break it up in those three parts. So here's another technique. This here, I'm using some scratch brushes, like, that people have made, like, for metal. And I'm, turning it around, spinning it, trying to shrink it down, and this is gonna give that metal, like, just an extra texture. Um, Maybe there's better ways to do this. Obviously, I'm sure there is. But this is the way I've been doing it for a little bit now, and I think it works for me. And, yeah, so these little scratch marks should give the illusion that the mask has been worn and weathered and put to the ringer, I guess. I don't know. Um, there's, not much else to say on that. I don't know what's going on with the video. It's not moving anymore. Maybe I messed up the recording somehow. I don't see my mouse moving. Am I just recording nothing? That's great. Hopefully it doesn't just stay like that for the rest of the video. Oh no, there it is. I'm moving again. I'm alive. So this is where I'm trying to get a baseline for the scratches, and I'm shrinking it down and throwing it on the mask and spinning it around and trying to combine and copy and paste and just move stuff around, make it look like it's really worn up. And I don't know. I could do it the slow way by literally making my own slashes, but that would take way too long. That's why I have like these pre-brushes that do it for me, and then I just manipulate them and move them around. They don't have to be perfect, and I think it gives off the illusion that it's metal with this. There's another one of the brushes I use. I'm just putting them together and erasing some of the obvious big scratches that stand out too much, and just like making it more subtle and shrinking it down, as you can see, and copy pasting layers and adding more. And right now it looks a little off because it's really bright compared to the mask, but I will tone it down. You'll see in a minute here. I'm just trying to get a whole bunch of scratches on the mask and make it make sense. I don't know, maybe this is a terrible way to go about it, but I like the way it comes out. And there I am messing with another brush preset. We're just erasing some of the heavier markings, trying to find where I could put that spot. And you can find tons of brushes like this for free that people have made, and there's obviously ones that people want you to pay for, which is totally understandable. These are just brushes I found over the years that were free. Sometimes they come in handy. A lot of times I don't really use that many brushes, which I should use more different types. It'd make it a lot easier on myself when it comes to drawing. But yeah, like for this one right here, the scratching in the middle, it's nice to have one of these kind of pre-made brushes that someone's made at your disposal. And there I'm just copy pasting, throwing it everywhere, and you're probably thinking like, oh, that's too much, like that looks like, I don't know, it looks like frost or snow or whatever, like that does not look like metal scratches. But you'll see right now, I'll give it more of a subtleness and all that. You'll see, and maybe you'll get what I'm trying to do, and if not, well, but I think it works for me. Like I said, I'm just adding more layers and copy pasting the same pattern and just putting it everywhere. And sometimes you could get lost in this as well and overdo it, and maybe I've already gone past that point right here as well, but you'll see right now how I tone it down and it kind of blends in better. At least I think it does. Let's see. Am I done with this part? No, I'm still adding more, as you can see. Like I said, right, on face value, right there, it looks terrible, but you'll see when it's done what it looks like, the final product. And then I'm erasing, the parts that shouldn't be sticking out of the drawing, cleaning up the eyes, and then I'm going in and adding some more to, I guess, that other part of the mask, and then copy pasting everything together as one layer, and then I'm lowering down the transparency of this layer to give it that subtle look. And then, yeah, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that does the job? Does it look more like a metal mask now? or piece of metal that's been worn and torn. I don't know, maybe. And to seal the deal with it, I have to, you know, define more of the shape of the mask. So here I am adding in the straps and the three, because the mask was originally going to be one piece, but then I decided to make it in 3 parts. So you could see those 3 lines. And then I am trying to do a beak. Like, should I separate the beak? But then I thought, man, it looks like a toucan sand from the cereal. Like, maybe I shouldn't do that. So I'll just stick with the 3 lines. So then I started saying, well, how do I define it more? And there you see me doing rivets. And I'm struggling to get a pattern properly. I'm just like eyeballing it, freehand, and I keep erasing and drawing again and racing again. As you can see, it's like losing my mind, trying to make these lines more defined and give it that stamp of approval to make it seem like it is a mask or something. And then I draw the other side. And then I get satisfied with what I drew. I was like, that's good, I'll do it again. Here, that's how it's gonna look. So I define out this side of the mask. Same thing again, trying to keep the same shape of those rivets, but at the same time space them out where I think they would go. Eyeballing it, of course, as they say. Nothing has to be perfect. None of this has to be perfect. As long as you could think, yeah, that makes sense. That's how it goes. Then that's all that matters. Then just putting more rivets over here and trying to say, should I break up the mask again or not? Because if you break it up too much, then it becomes, ridiculous. But I think those 3 lines give it the perfect form. So it's like the mask is in 3 parts. So I think it works. Now I'm just doing the straps and the rivets on that, trying to find those more. And I could have made more detail on those straps, but at that point I was already tired of what I was looking at. I get tired really fast on what I'm looking at or working on, whatever. So there it is. Just trying to tone down everything, and then I said, well, I gotta work more on the light, because now the light is starting to lose its meaning, and so I'm trying to give more of a shine to the light. And then I got scared of what I was doing, so I jumped back to the texture of the head. It's like, oh no, I gotta add more texture here to this head. It can't be left out without texture. So I'm just adding more squiggly lines, or whatever the hell you want to call them. And I go like, oh, I gotta finish the eyes. I forgot about the eyes. I don't know. I'm not trying to go too heavy on the eyes either, but I did know I had to finish them at that point because I had left them alone for quite a while. And then I went back and added shadows to the rivets just to give them more depth. And clean up the eyes, of course, and then add shadow to the parting of the metal to give it that real effect, like it's been, like it's been not soldered. What's the word I'm looking for? Welded. I can't think of the word. Like it's been welded together, whatever. And then I'm just trying to give some shadows to the beak. I thought about making the mask with the open beak mouth, but then I was like, I'll just keep it closed. I think it speaks more if the beak was, closed and not open. Because you don't know what it's trying to say into those eyes. Those eyes could be pain for all we know. It could be going through pain, but you couldn't tell. Because it can't express the pain out loud with the mask being closed. I don't know. There I am just trying to do redefine the shape more of the bottom of the mask. I'm not sure what I'm doing here now. I seem to be lost. Okay, I'm just zooming out more. Looking at everything, and there you go. I think it's coming along. Give it more shadow. Trying to find that sweet spot of light. And then there you are. You see me erasing the shadows of the scratches of the metal, so that makes more sense. It's doing my best, and hopefully it looks like what I thought it would look like, or accomplish what I was trying to do. Like I said, this drawing's probably gonna be multiple parts because the next one will be the body. This is just the head. It took me about 5 hours to do this head, which was insane. And I've gone too far deep now. I mean, look at that. That detail right there is just insane. There's no need for any of it. But that's what I do. And you'll see me just outline more stuff. But yeah, right now I'm working on the second video, getting it together. I'll have it out soon. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll put the song title in the description if you want to check out the song that inspired this whole drawing. And who knows, maybe you'll end up liking the artist as well. She's one of my favorites. But yeah, I'm gonna let this video end, and thanks for watching again.